Throughout the past 24 hours, we have been carefully tracking the nor'easter that is impacting our entire state. At current, the executive order I signed placing New Jersey under a state of emergency for this storm, effective 8 p.m. yesterday, remains in effect. In addition to signing that executive order, at 8 a.m. yesterday morning, Monday morning, Pat activated the state's Emergency Operations Center. We had a call at 11 a.m. You all had a call at 11 a.m. with FEMA Region 2. At 1 o'clock at our press conference, I mentioned that the storm was, with President Biden, was something that we were watching. And I think also at 1 o'clock yesterday, Pat, you had the 21 county OEMs on with the National Weather Service. So those are a series of the steps that we took yesterday. In addition, I have declared an 11 a.m. delayed opening for state government offices today to allow those employees who are back working in person ample time to travel safely. And let me just say this, use your common sense, folks. If you can't get to work safely and you work for the state, please work from home. The current forecast suggests this system will still be packing some heavy rains and sustained winds until the early hours of tomorrow before finally moving away tomorrow morning. Rain totals of more than 4 and perhaps up to 5 inches in some areas are still possible before all is said and done. Most of the state is already well over 1 inch, and parts of the shore had exceeded 2 inches of rainfall by early this morning. There are active flash flood warnings and watches across the entire state. Right now, 10 counties are in a flood warning and 11 are in a flood watch. Those 10 are home to 6.3 million of our 9.3 million residents. And remember, where it rains, it can flood. As we learned tragically last month, floods just don't happen in low-lying or coastal areas. With a heavy downpour, any creek or stream can become a river. For the rest of today, in addition to the rain, we expect winds between 20 and 25 miles per hour to continue to blow inland and between 30 to 45 miles per hour along the shore. Gusts can easily exceed those numbers. Joe, I think you'll refer to this, but we expect in particular those gusts to pick up late afternoon, early evening today. The entire coastline from Sandy Hook to the Delaware Bay is under a gale warning until 2 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. And given these winds, no one should be surprised if they lose power. There are roughly 3,200 outages reported right now. We expect that number was as high as about 4,000. It's come down. As long as it's not terribly windy wherever you live, that'll give the crews an ability to safely get you back in service. But we almost certainly expect that number to go up, and perhaps dramatically with the higher winds that are coming later in the day. If you do lose power, call it in immediately to your service provider, as these calls can help pinpoint where repairs are needed and where crews should be deployed. Don't assume your neighbor called it in. Call it in yourself. But certainly, as I mentioned, these crews will need safe conditions in which to work, so restorations could be delayed if wind and rain conditions make it dangerous for them to be up in a bucket. Joe and the BPU have been monitoring our electric service providers to ensure they are ready to respond quickly to any storm-related outages. I was exchanging calls and notes with the heads of all 3 of the big providers last evening. While we encourage everyone to stay in and sit tight until the storm passes, we recognize that may be hard for some due to jobs or school. Should you be out and come across a down power line, please don't go near it and immediately report it to emergency services. Again, do not try to approach it or drive over it. Under Diane, the DOT and its partner transportation agencies continue working together and are ready to go to keep our roads clear and open, especially if it means clearing or re-clearing storm drains in problem spots to keep roadways from flooding and creating an even greater hazard. We also thank and tip our caps to all first responders, state police right on down, and to the Turnpike Authority, county and local road crews who are doing the same. NJ Transit trains are currently running on or close to schedule with, I think, Diane, one big exception, and that's the Raritan Valley line. It shut due to flooding in Fanwood, then it reopened, then it was delayed because of a tree down. Now, based on high water in Bridgewater. The last I heard, it's now down again. So keep an eye if you're on the RVL. That's the one line that is in and out so far. Looking at bus operations, some north routes have flood detour routes in place, while south operations are not impacted.